Oh shit. Well, no idea what just happened. Okay, good. It is indeed saving as FLV. So this will be my first commentary that I'm recording and posting to YouTube, because 5 people is fewer than 6, which is the amount of people that we have available to play a game. And poor little me got the short straw. So I get the pleasure of spectating this game featuring our good friends Steven, Joe Staller, Cam, Adam, and Nicole. They will be the purple team for this event, and they're up against a team consisting of Caitlin, Fizz, Fiora, Leona, Annie. You can see top in the blue. You might also notice that there is no smite on the blue team right now. Generally a sign that they will not be having a jungler, which is going to be a bad time for presumably Judgment Kayle, who will probably be the solo lane. And if you go 2v1 and you don't really have much sustain like a Kayle does, you're gonna have a bad time. So we are now just waiting for the slow players of the league to connect their computers to the game before we get underway. And here we are, purple base. So we got Cam on Talon, Joe on Mundo, Adam on Varus, Nicole on Amumu, and never mind, that's Steven on Varus, Herbiderp, and Adam is the one on Kayle. Mumu and Mundo taking a while to buy their items. Nicole, now the only person in the game who has not bought any items, 30 seconds in.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
Not sure what to say about that one. But as you see, Adam is heading top lane as expected. Fizz and Fiora going to be his 2 opponents. Fizz known for his ability to just disregard all damage with his troll pole, and Fiora herself able to duel really, really well. So with the potential for Fizz to just sort of go in on the turret, absorb a couple shocks, and then just pull away, while Fiora does a lot of damage, there is some decent dive potential in top lane. It's going to be Amumu support with Varus versus Caitlin Leona bot. Varus, he was released just yesterday even. Not a lot of people really figuring out how to play him perfectly just yet. The general consensus is his early game, you just farm, as with most AD champs, and then into mid game, you do a fair amount of damage with your Blight, which is what Steven started with. It does have that percentage damage on it, so it's pretty potent throughout the entire game. So the game has started. Mundo's starting at blue buff for that faster clear. And as mentioned before, there's no jungler on the blue team, so all these potential resources that could have been farmed for blue team are pretty much going to waste. Leona and Kate being on blue team did start with that, with the double golems to give them an XP advantage going into the lane. Not much really happens this early in the game. Probably gonna focus a lot of attention top lane because of that 2v1 situation. Kayle just farming as best as she can, getting the range on her auto attacks with that E that she does not natively have. Fizz coming in with some poke on his W, applying that healing debuff. Not really doing anything just this moment, because Kayle does not take heal until normally about level 4 for most people. CS, pretty even when you factor in the fact that Fizz and Fiora do have to split any farm that they wish to. So individually they will be behind Kayle in gold, but together they should come out even. Disregarding the initial starting gold. Caitlyn just poking away with the Q. Kayle unleashing a lot of damage on Fiora right here, getting her pretty low, down to about 275 health with just a Q and some autos. Mundo happily farming his jungle. Talon down to about half HP, as is Annie. Likely some harass rakes and Annie Qs. Amumu going toward Tribush right now. Largely for naught, unless mid decides to come down. Otherwise it'd be pretty obvious that people are leaving. And Joe dies to double golems like a Nibnard. Mundo does not go where he pleases unless he wanted to die, which is not likely. Bot lane, purple side pushing in a bit. Varus, 23 CS to Caitlyn's 27. Leona actually has no wards, so that could pose a problem for blue team in the short run. But with that death from Mundo, that really alleviated a lot of potential threat of the jungler ganking bot lane. Top lane pushed into the turret. Possible play coming in here from Leona. She is posturing herself to land that E and W onto the bot lane of purple team. She gets in with the E, snares Amumu. Amumu throwing out a bandage in the wrong direction. Varus very low HP, Caitlyn very low HP. Leona just sitting on Amumu. Amumu activates his tears. Varus going back onto Caitlyn as Amumu continues to try and trade with Leona. Caitlyn lands the Q onto Amumu, gets first blood, but can Varus pick up the double here? Leona's very, very low. Caitlyn very, very low. He gets the kill on Caitlyn. Leona basically dead. If he could just land a couple autos, he does pick up the double. So that is quite a healthy gold advantage right now for Varus, as Fizz and Fiora managed to kill Kayle in top lane. Kayle currently level 5. And about halfway through until she gets her ultimate, which would have most assuredly stopped that kill, as it does make her invulnerable for a couple seconds. Varus, despite being quite low on HP, did not decide to go back after getting the double kill. Leona teleports in and lands the E and the shield. That is a dead Varus. Greedy play coming in from Steven. Who is still up in gold compared to Caitlyn, but not as much as he could have been. Just 100 gold right now, as Caitlyn is up about 10 CS right now. Kayle getting back to top lane. And Talon going in onto Annie, throwing out the rake in the wrong direction. That was definitely a misclick there from Cam. Kayle rapidly approaching level 6. Fiora coming in from that river bush, just posturing to get the jump on to Kayle whenever Fizz does manage to get back in the lane. Kayle in a very, very precarious position right now. And Fiora spots it, goes in on Kayle, just using her W to heal herself and get that move speed increase. Throws out a Q onto Fiora and some autos. Fizz bouncing all over the place. Kayle is fine in the meantime. Her ult is still available, but Fizz and Fiora both almost level 6. Fizz does hit level 6. And back down bot lane, Varus landing the ulti onto Caitlyn. Snare passing down to Leona. Leona lands a stun onto Mundo, and down goes Mundo. Fiora and Fizz also getting Kayle once again. I am blind and terrible at observing the map. Caitlyn uses her ulti to pick up the kill onto Steven. Mumu level 4, definite harsh level disadvantage for Amumu right now, as Kayle and Kayle are just pecking away at the turret. And top lane as well, Fizz and Fiora also pecking away at that turret. A lot of hopes riding on him to dominate this bot lane or mid lane, and hopefully go around the map and get a couple of kills for Purple Team, as they are behind 6-2 and suffering a almost 3,000 gold disadvantage. You see now Talon moving up top lane, ping going down on the tri-bush on top. Fiora and Fizz have recalled those, so there will be no kills for Purple Team in the near future. Talon moving back to mid, hoping to get the jump onto Annie. Talon, very high burst champion, has the potential to do a lot of damage onto Annie. Mundo coming in from behind as well. Talon flash, silence, lead, rage, everything going down on Annie, as much damage as possible. The dive happening, Mundo taking the turret, Mundo getting very low, gets stunned and damaged by Tibbers. And the trade of Mundo for Annie, as Fiora caught the suit of Talon right now. Silence going down, rage going down, Omni Slash. Kayle using the ult to keep Talon alive, and they do pick up the kill onto Fiora. Fizz coming down to try and be janitor mode, but Talon does have the shark on him. He will be going down soon without Kayle's ultimate to keep him alive. Will Kayle pick up the cross kill onto Fizz? No, he will not. Fizz now with blue buff, and that is a scary position to be in for a Purple Team. Annie comes back up to the lane as well. Kayle getting really greedy, wanting to kill Fizz. Things are in bad shape for Purple Team right now. Despite having the smite advantage to control those buffs and map objectives, like especially Dragon, I'm a bit surprised Purple Team has not just sort of pushed out bot lane, grouped up, brought down mid, and just taken Dragon, because that would most likely be free. And blue team still no wards on the map for blue team. Who just switched the camera view? No wards whatsoever. Blue team picks up the kill onto Amumu, and Mundo's trying to pick up something, but does not manage to get it. Talon coming down as well. Blue team pushed in a bit. High potential for a kill onto Kayle here. Talon spotted by Leona, gets stunned, gets trapped. Kayle flashing away. Talon not getting up, and Kayle does get away scot-free. Burning just a flash in exchange for, I think it was 2 flashes from Purple Team, which is not a good sign. And she decides to stay in lane, as 4 members of Blue Team have come down to push in the turret versus the 3 members of Purple Team. Kayle get spotted in the jungle by Fiora. No presence at all in top lane right now. Varus 66 to Kayle's 93 CS, a huge disadvantage on top of the level and kill disadvantage. That's snowballing heavily in favor of blue team. Pings going down from blue team all across the river, possibly wanting to get the objectives. Mundo gets spotted by Annie and Fizz, does pop his ultimate and circles as he runs away, gets hit by the Fizz ult. Caitlyn ult flashes over the Baron pit, or Dragon pit, and Kayle gets caught in the mix, picked off by blue team, as she did try to help Mundo. Talon going in on Fiora right now, Silence, Waves, Rake, Bleed, all this damage coming in from Talon, picks up the kill onto Fiora unassisted. Annie and Leona, however, lying in wait in these bushes, auto attack going off, but he should be able to get away pretty safely. Annie does land the Q to stun. Talon fighting back, gets snared by the Leona, stunned, and all this damage coming in from Annie. One of those AP champions that we don't really see much in competitive play these days, but proving that in at least in normal games she can still do a ton of work on the enemy team. Blue team not electing to get Dragon at all after killing Mundo and Talon, as some of their members did get quite low. Purple team trying to push in bot turret so that they have that ability to move about the map a bit more freely. But their turret is very low on HP. A single auto attack from anyone would pretty much kill it. Teleport coming in from Leona, hoping to get Amumu right here. Amumu does not have boots. Amumu not fast enough to get away from the Fizz and Leona. Does get caught. Varus trying to keep him. Trying to keep the enemy team slowed with his hail of arrows, but nothing really coming out of that as blue team does pick up the turret bot lane. Fiora trying to get some farm top lane, does get spotted by Kayle and Mundo. Mundo coming in from tri-bush, Kayle coming in from the, I guess, midway through top lane bush. Slows being landed onto Fiora consistently. The riposte does go up, but that does not do a thing against Kayle's Q. Only your auto attacks. Blue team applying pressure onto mid lane right now as they have taken out bot and top turrets. Mundo coming in from top river as well as Kayle coming in from the jungle. It does look like purple team, however, is going to give up mid turret as they just do not have the ability to hold off this very aggressive and deadly blue team. Mundo walking into the trap because he can, and Mundo does very bleeding. Caitlyn recalling. It is currently 4v3 right now in mid lane, unbeknownst to purple team. But Leona, just that CC, that heavy amount of CC can just shut down so much damage from purple team, as well as Annie's Tibber's stun and Fizz's ultimate, knocking up the enemy. Leona did end up recalling, so it is just Annie and Fiora pushing up mid lane while Fizz goes to clear top lane away from his turret. Varus applying a bit of pressure bot, pushing that wave in. Pretty heavy stack of minions there. And it looks like Annie is going down to clean it up before it gets to the turret. But presumably blue team pings Annie back. I guess Caitlyn wanted to get the farm that was found bot lane, but Annie and Leona getting spotted by purple team. Amumu trying to ulti and keep them in crowd control, does die. Army slash going off on purple team, ultimately going on to Talon. Talon does die. Mundo falls. Looks like this should be a pretty clean sweep right now for blue team. Varus coming in to try and maybe do some cleanup, but blue team is currently pretty healthy. Mundo picking up the Spirit Visage to counter the damage coming in from Fizz and Annie. I would prefer to see a bit heavier magic damage, as there is a lot of burst coming in from those champions, and Mundo is currently using the Ninja Tabi as opposed to Mercury Treads, and the CC from Leona. Caitlyn picks off Varus somewhere, and Leona does pick up blue. But anyways, as I was saying, I would much prefer Merc Treads for pretty much everybody on the purple team in this situation, as the blue team has a ton of CC in the form of Leona and Annie, and no, that's pretty much it. But that CC is really keeping purple team behind, and they themselves are already behind in dealing damage as they have been getting killed. They are currently suffering an 8,000 gold deficit, which is not where you want to be at this stage of the game. I would not be surprised at all to see a 20-minute surrender, but we'll see. We'll see if purple team has that sort of resilience to just stick with it and maybe turn this game around. I mean, no game is completely unwinnable. Leona currently recalling. Purple team, I really wish it would have let her recall, but the fight does start anyways. Varus standing in the back, doing as much damage as he can. He has used, his ult is on cooldown from a prior engagement, so he is not able to snare the entire enemy team as they were grouped up quite densely. But not a bad trade for purple team. Certainly, like, definitely in favor. They traded 3-2, and since they were behind, that is possibly the start of their fight back into this game. Mundo getting really low after that fight, but does continue to jungle as he does have that ability to regenerate a ton of health and just take very, very little damage. Talon, no mana, low HP in the enemy jungle for some odd reason. But yeah, so that fight. So here's what I want to say when that fight started. I really wish purple team let Leona just go back, because then they could have picked off 3 members. I think it was Fiora, Annie, and Caitlyn in mid lane pretty easily without much of a response from blue team, as Fizz was already recalled, and Leona just keeps the amount of damage purple team puts out to a minimum. But Caitlyn getting a bit bold in mid lane right now, poking away at these melee champions, Amumu and Talon. Mundo coming in from the jungle does land the cleaver. They could pick up a kill on Kayle here, but she does net away. Blue team coming in from bottom river. Kayle continuing to poke away at Mundo. The clutch fish barely hitting Talon. Kayle using her ult onto Talon to make sure that he does not take a significant amount of damage, but Kayle getting immobilized by Leona, having to retreat as fast as she can, using that heal on herself. Talon trying to use the rake to slow Leona and Annie, but does not hit either of them. Blue team just camping purple jungle right now. Varus does land the snare into the Amumu ulti. Leona gets back into the fight onto Varus, but tries to keep Amumu off Caitlyn. Caitlyn does pick off Amumu, and Varus is likely to go down here to Fiora and the other 2 members of blue team currently there. Fiora's ult is down. Mundo just running away as he cannot take out Caitlyn, Leona, and Fiora. Talon trying to decide whether or not he should go in here. Caitlyn is quite low, but Leona, once again, that CC will be able to keep Talon off in all likelihood, but Caitlyn and Leona do recall, as well as Talon. Mundo also recalling. So 2-for-1 trade in favor of blue team right there in the enemy jungle. Talon and Kayle both having to pop their cooldowns before the fight really even started. Can't remember when Dragon went down, but purple team does have Baron Warden in case blue does go for it, but they don't really have much to contest it with. So they need to apply some pressure into these lanes, as blue team is pretty much taking control of the game, deciding where the fights happen and where. Blue team pushing in purple team pushing bot lane down. Caitlyn coming in from river. Mundo is in the enemy jungle, and Varus is still bot lane as well. They could probably pick off Caitlyn here, as blue team is just camping mid lane, and Fiora is not anywhere close to Caitlyn. The hail of arrows misses Caitlyn, but the ultimate does go down on her as well. Mundo giving chase, landing cleavers, keeping her unable to get away from the kill. And she does go down. Mundo and Varus
Team's turret has been destroyed.
killing Kayle and getting the bot turret. First turret down for purple team, or for blue team in favor. You know what I mean. Joe getting a bit drunk. Just trying to Caitlyn or Fiora underneath their Fiora's inner bot turret, and Fiora picks up the double kill alone with the turret. Really, really unnecessary dive right there from blue team. I mean, it's a plays that they made bot lane to kill Caitlyn and get the turret that would keep them in the game, but then just getting a bit overzealous trying to kill Fiora underneath her turret that are keeping them back at the same time. So it's hard to tell if they're just gonna, if they have any chance of coming back into this right now. Like breaking out, Kayle getting caught, vulnerability going under itself, failing to flash over the wall. That's gotta be demoralizing for purple team, and Kayle especially. Blue team just camping that bush. They did take down mid turret, and purple team is in dire straits, pinging down onto Dragon. They want to get it, and they might think that purple team is, or blue team is getting it right now, but that could not be farther from the truth. They did attempt to surrender and failed 2-1. Clear signs that they are just heavily demoralized in this game. Caitlyn pushing down top turret with ease. Nobody currently there to contest her. Talon is coming around, but she should be able to get away and maybe pick up the kill on Talon if he keeps on going in. Talon using his ulti and all of his cooldowns, Ignite going down. But he does pick up the kill on Caitlyn, so that was very much worth it, and saving the turret. Pings from blue team going down onto Annie and Fizz. I'm not sure what they want to do. Purple team trying Baron, and by purple team I mean Mundo and Amumu. Not exactly the heaviest hitters that you want onto Baron. Amumu taking a ton of damage, perhaps not realizing the way Baron chooses his attack target. Blue team still no wards on the map except for that one at the ramp to blue buff. Mundo getting very low, but they should be able to take on this Baron uncontested, which would be a huge pickup for purple team. Blue team just absolutely in the dark, but they will pick up the dragon at least. But not worth it at all. Purple team pushing in the minion wave a bit, as they do or should go back and buy with their 300 gold globally that they earned from killing that Baron. Amumu and Kayle just backing up to their turret before recalling. Talon roaming about the map, trying to get as much CS as he possibly can, as he is, or as he was one of the most important champs for purple team in lane. Not really dying a whole lot to Annie, feeding off kills, and getting at least a little something in return. Talon once again going top to defend the turret from the minions pushing in. Still only bot turret down on blue team, and 4 turrets down on purple team. The current gold differential is about it's staying at a steady 8k throughout most of this game, so that's good in the sense that they're not getting more behind, but it's bad in the sense that they're behind. Blue team just swarming the bottom half of purple team's jungle. Pings going down onto themselves, wanting to just camp that bush for whatever unfortunate soul decides to check blue buff. Fizz going into mid lane, possibly to just bait Mundo, but Mundo does recall. Blue team does look like they want to make their advance right now, knowing that Mundo has bagged even though it's at purple base, that's still quite the advantage. Mundo's going in, ultimately landing on his favorite. Mundo doing a ton of purple team doing tons of damage on them. blue team right now with that damage buff. Varus still staying in the back. Mundo in the middle of the enemy team is currently 3v1 right now onto Varus. He is likely to get picked off between... Oh, never mind. Running the flash, and he does successfully get away. Might try to pick up some damage onto Fizz right now. Does pick up the kill. And that is a pretty significant mini-win mid. Varus doing all he can to keep Fiora from killing that turret and exposing the inhibitor. Overstayed his welcome, however, as Fiora does have that ability to just get up and kill you. So Fiora heads back while Annie pushes down the turret. Amumu has revived at his pool, and Annie takes that as a sign of, you know what, I've done my damage, I'm gonna go back now. So about 1,000 gold gained in the last couple minutes after that team fight for blue team, as they have extended their gold lead a bit. Items not looking too bad on... Actually, you know, they're looking pretty awful right now. Kayle sitting on a Dorn's Blade, Bloodthirster, Fan Dancer, and Berserker's Greaves. I really would prefer to see a bit more AD, as that does help her scaling on her Q, as well as her autos, as opposed to this attack speed sort of build she has chosen to go. Mundo just camping the bush in the river right now. Want to possibly get the jump on the blue team, but he will get spotted by this ward as he's going back. Blue team camping that entrance into jungle. Caitlyn is currently not with the team, but that doesn't really matter for blue team. They think that they can just 4v5 here, and they have pretty much perfect vision on the purple team. Talon gonna get picked off right here. He gets hit by everything. Kayle vulnerability going down on him. Annie goes down, but picks up a movement, and Talon with trigger stun. Plenty of damage going around from both sides, but purple team does pick up the 4 kills onto blue team, and 3 of them are still alive. Caitlyn wanting to finish off Kayle with the ultimate, but does get blocked by Mundo as I don't even know what happened there. Oh, that is not good for purple team. Caitlyn just absorbing a ton of damage while the turret just poked away at Mundo and Kayle. Caitlyn able to kite them pretty effectively. Varus, on the other hand, pushing down bot lane while Caitlyn pushes mid. She will almost certainly be able to get this turret. Oh, nope. She is electing to go grab purple's red buff, or their top turret. I am terrible at this. Using that to get over the wall for style points. As Varus did end up recalling because blue team more or less all revived. Blue team definitely looking to win this one. Purple team needing pretty much a miracle to either force blue to surrender or just straight up kill their nexus. If blue team wins this, I foresee it being over the next 5 minutes, but if purple team wins this, expect the game to last at least another 30 minutes. Fiora being a bit crazy, does get slowed by the Kayle Q, getting kicked off by just all the abilities from purple team. That is huge actually, as Caitlyn has been the one doing a ton of damage for blue team. Purple team just all-inning in mid lane. Amumu getting picked off, or getting snared by Kayle. However, Varus ult snaring the entire blue team. Amumu ult going down, keeping them all in place. I'm not entirely sure who's taking the turn right now. It is Varus. He does manage to get away and pick up the ace onto blue team. Blue team down for 15 seconds on Kayle, about 35 seconds on anyone else, so they could easily take down this turret inhibitor. And Baron is up again, so I said I was terrible with something before, and that has not changed. Purple team making a big move down in mid lane to try and get back into this game. Talon is revived, and both Mundo and Varus are at full health.
Blue team's inhibitor has been destroyed.
Varus with that red buff does get a couple autos off onto Caitlyn, but Caitlyn just taking those shots like a champ. The minion wave of blue is pushing down bot lane. Both Mundo and Varus chasing to get it. Baron is up, remember, so blue team could try and get a revenge Baron after that ace, as both Mundo and Varus go to get Dragon. Blue team ping down top lane, but they are Leona using opting to use teleport to just try and clear that minion wave. Not sure how I feel about that, but she's making plenty of correct decisions thus far, so I guess that's what it says that they want to happen. Purple team, no vision on this Baron attempt right now from Caitlyn, Annie, and Fizz. Talon going to go face check. Two traps have been set up. Blue team does pick up the Baron, and Talon realizes this and immediately backs out. Blue team now just deciding to regroup in mid lane, probably hoping to just make one big push down mid and win the game. For some reason I thought my mic was unmuted, and this guy call. Interestingly enough, blue team now down only 6k, so they have clawed their way back in that gold disparity, but blue team does currently have Baron buff, and they are grouped up as 5. This could actually just be a huge opportunity for ultimates coming out of Varus and Amumu. Varus clearing wraiths in a very, very dangerous position. Getting all these messages that the game has in fact ended. The big disadvantage of being in Skype with the people currently playing is that 3-minute delay. So knowing that it's over in 3 minutes, I'm just gonna go ahead and assume that Purple Team has lost this, which is really unfortunate as they are pretty strong players, but just getting outplayed by this blue team consisting of Fizz, Annie, Leona, Flora, and Caitlyn. Big arrow coming out of Varus right now. Trap set up to prevent Purple Team from coming out of their turn a bit. And blue team, all they need to do is just clear the way. Oh, Leona goes in and immediately flashes out. Not sure what that was about. But yeah, all blue team needs to do right now is just clear the wave, get Kaylin, keep poking away at the turret, and it should go down with ease. And then they can just swarm the inhibitor or kill all of Purple Team. Kayle walking into a trap, gets picked off by Caitlyn. Oh my god, all that damage. Just destroying. Yeah, like I said, those are the ults coming out, but not much you can do when your team is pretty much dead. The advance does come in from blue team, and this looks to be the final bell toll for Purple Team, as they are currently preparing the next turrets. But well played by blue and Purple Team, both teams with their mistakes, and blue team able to just capitalize just that much more to pick up the win here. Bit of a victory dive for Fizz right there. Oh, and the kill coming in from Annie. Just absolutely rude doing that on the